It has been said that in Twilight Struggle, you need to know the cards well in order to play well. Well, we're going to take you through every card one by one, and we're going to help you become a master at Twilight Struggle. This is Legendary Tactics. Independent Reds is not an impressive event, but it does offer some surprises that one might not expect. Let's take a look. The card is a US 2-op starred event. If you trigger the event, the US may add sufficient influence in one of Yugoslavia, Romania, Bulgaria, Hungary, or Czechoslovakia to equal USSR influence in that particular country. If there is no influence in any of these countries at the time the event is triggered, no US influence is placed and the card leaves play. From the perspective of the Soviet player, this event is not much of a threat. If you get it in hand, make sure you don't place influence in any of those countries before you trigger the event if possible, or use the de-Stalinization event to move the influence away ahead of time. There are some early war events that you need to keep in mind with regard to this card. Warsaw Pact formed, Comecon, and Romanian abdication should be played after Independent Reds if possible, while the Truman Doctrine should be played before. And don't let this event stress you out to the point of sending it to the space race. The US is not going to challenge you in the early war in Eastern Europe anyway, and even though this card is only worth 2 operations points, those are valuable in the early war. For the US, this card will be used for ops most of the time, as those early war ops are just too valuable. If you know the Soviets are about to play European scoring though, you could use this event to cut the Soviet country count in advance of that play, although that's a pretty marginal use of the event. Otherwise, you should make sure to play one of the events I mentioned earlier that places influence in Eastern Europe so that you'll at least get something out of this event when it happens. It does gain some additional clout if it makes it to the late war, then mixes in with all those other great US events that help to wrestle control of Eastern Europe away from the Soviets. The best single use of this event would be in combination with the Truman Doctrine after the Romanian abdication event has been triggered. Save Independent Reds for the last action round, play it for the event to match the influence in Romania, and then headline Truman Doctrine at the beginning of the next turn. This gives the US control of Romania, which, as it is next to the homeland of the USSR, provides a victory point during European scoring. Other than that, likely the best play is to use the operations points and maybe save it for the late war, where it can be marginally more useful. So in summary, for both sides, this is an early war US event that neither side will lose sleep over. Situationally, it can be useful for the American player, but otherwise it is generally pretty safe for the Soviet player to trigger. This has been our analysis of the Independent Reds card for Twilight Struggle. Thank you so much for watching. If you got some value out of this video, please like and subscribe, and we look forward to seeing you next time here on Legendary Tactics.